Amazon Web Service, that is what AWS, right? So as I told already, it's an online platform that provides scalable and cost-effective cloud computing solutions. So it provides lot of resources. That means instead of physical resources, we can maintain all our computing resources remotely. That means in the AWS environment. So we can access it from wherever we want. Okay, so that is called AWS. Okay, um, so this is AWS history. Okay, I don't need to go through the history and that. Okay, so these are all the applications AWS provides. Okay, that means AWS enables business to develop, build a number of sophisticated applications. Okay, so you can create your own applications inside AWS. Okay, so that service AWS is providing. Okay, and storage and backup. Okay, that means whatever documents or any data you want to store, you can store it in the AWS platform. Okay, so instead of storing in your physical device or physical server which you are having, you can store everything in the AWS, and also you can back up your data frequently. Okay, so there are some automatic backups are there. Okay, so if you tell every week, once in a week, the backup should be there, or one every day backup should be taken, or once in a month. So all are possible. Okay, storage and backup services AWS is providing, and you can launch your website inside AWS. Okay, so normally, so every many of the companies are having their website, right? So hosting the website is also important, right? So for hosting the website, um, uh, we need a internet service provider. Okay, like so GoDaddy is one of the website hosting environment, right? You might have heard. So like that, AWS also one of the website hosting environment. Okay, you can deploy your application in AWS and you can host. Yeah, so this AWS can host the our website. Okay, and gaming. Okay, so we can install the gaming software inside AWS so that that can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, and mobile and web-based applications that also can be installed in AWS, and it can run. Okay, so these are all the services mainly AWS providing. Apart from that, there are a lot of small services this AWS is providing. So we will see only the some important applications or services AWS is providing. Okay, so these are all the companies AWS is using. Okay, yeah. So inside AWS, we call these are all the services. Compute service, that is EC2. Yesterday we saw, right? Elastic Cloud Computing. This is what I'm going to tell today, how to create compute service inside AWS. Okay, and storage, how to create the storage like Google Drive. We can create our own drive inside AWS. Okay, online drive. Database, how to create database inside AWS. We can create our own database. Okay, networking and delivery of content. Okay, that means you can share your content to multiple people. Okay, by creating networking, or you can create a networking based environment inside AWS. That means if you create multiple servers, that servers can connect with them, right? Has to connect. So the server should be connected in between. So that kind of networking also capable in AWS. Okay, and security. It provides lot of securities, right? Like firewall and some antivirus softwares, it will be installed automatically, okay, if you want. So all the security tools it provides, okay, so it's more secure, okay. So outside from outside nobody can hack it, or you cannot inject any virus into AWS systems, okay. Developer tools, okay, lot of developer tools, like suppose if you want to develop Java based applications, so you can install the Java and you can uh, develop your application using that, okay. So like that, any development based tools you can install and you can use it, okay. And management tools like uh, so you can do some management related softwares. For example, this Zoom itself one of the management tool, right? So you can connect with others like in a video call or audio call. So like that, there are many management tools it is providing, and also you can manage the computers, okay, using some softwares, okay. Yeah, so these are all the service we will mainly see in our classes, okay, in the coming days, okay. Yeah, so first thing we are going to see is cloud computing, okay. What is cloud computing? It provides us a means by which we can access the applications as utilities over the internet. That means you can access the applications like utilities, small utilities, right? Like that you can access it, which is there in a cloud environment. Okay, so that is called cloud computing. Okay, so with cloud computing, users can access database resources via the internet from anywhere. Okay, so that is cloud computing. Okay, let's go to the practical now. Okay, yeah. I'm going to the website now, AWS website. So this is how you have to log in, right? When you try to sign in, it will ask for the user and email address. Okay, so root user and my email. Okay, logged in now. Security check. Password. Yeah, now it is getting logged in. So as I told, you can see all the services here, right? So always you go to this services drop down. Okay, you can search for the services also. Suppose you want cloud computing, like that also you can search. Okay, AWS cloud map, EC2, no, all are cloud computing. Okay, EC2. Yeah, so it is coming, right? So you can search like that also. Okay, so then click it. Yeah, so now we are going to create a virtual desktop. Okay, so that is what we are going to create, and we'll see how to access it from our system also. Okay, so for this you go to this. Yeah, so you can see a button called launch instance, right? So click this launch instance. Okay, so please follow the steps what I am following. Okay, don't change any steps. Okay, otherwise you may get some errors or you may get charged. Okay, Yeah. So once you click launch instance, you will see a page like this. Here you need to choose your kind of platform, kind of system. Okay, which kind of system you want? You want to create a Linux-based system or Windows-based system or in any other. Okay, so you can choose whatever you want. So first we will try with the Windows based system. Okay, so for this I'm going to choose this. Okay, so this AMI means Amazon machine interface. Okay, sorry, Amazon machine image. Okay, so this they call it as AMI image. Okay, so you can select any one of this. Okay, so and also you need to mainly look into this free tier eligible. Okay, so always use the resources which are mentioned as free tier eligible. Okay, so for this we have a free tier eligible, so I'm going to use it now. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to select it now. Okay, so once you click select, then you will be having a web page like this. Here you need to choose the configuration of that system. Okay, like so I think we don't have any other option. You have to go for this free tier eligible. Okay, so if you choose other options, then you will get charged. Okay, so automatically it is selected, right, based on the user type. Since we are having a free user account, so it is selected automatically. Okay, so always go for this T2.micro. Okay, so for this, what is the CPU utilization? What is the memory? Okay, that means RAM. RAM is 1 GB. They are providing 1 GB by default, 1 GB RAM. Okay, so you want to go back to the previous screen. Okay, see, in the previous screen, you need to select only the environment, the system, what kind of system it is. Okay, there are a lot of system types are there. Please, I selected this. You also go with this one. Okay, please note it down. Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base. Okay, but you can choose any free tier eligible version also, image also. Okay, but for now you always follow me. Okay, once you click launch instance, okay, so what you need to do is go to, so this is once you logged in, you can search it from here. Okay, EC2, search it like this, EC2. I'm repeating actually, this is the first step. Okay, search EC2 here, or you can click here and you can see the services here, and the first one is EC2. You can go like this also, in this way also. So once you click the EC2 link, you will see a page like this. When you come down, you will see a button called launch instance. Okay, click this launch instance button and select this one, launch instance. Okay, I hope you are clear. Okay, so far there is only one step. Search EC2 and click launch instance button. That's all. Okay, so now you can see multiple Amazon images, machine images. Okay, in which you select this one, Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base. Okay, so this is free tier eligible. That is why I'm selecting. Okay, so in the right side, you can see a button called select. Okay, click this button. See, why do we have to select images? That is what I told, right? This is called system. Okay, so which kind of system you want? Whether you want a Microsoft system or Linux system or Mac OS. So what kind of system you want? You need to select, right? This is the first system. Suppose you purchased a computer and you need to install a OS, right? Operating system. Okay, which kind of operating system you want in your system, in your EC2 instance. That is why you need to select the image. Okay, clear? Pratiksha, right? Okay, this is, see, what I am telling is a blank, so follow. Okay, so no need to change anything. Just follow so that you can easily understand. Okay, no need to change any step. So here there is nothing to understand. Okay, so you just follow the steps, that's all, one by one. Okay, so click this select button. Okay, so once you click this select button, you can see a web page like this. Okay, here you need to automatically select it. Okay, so you don't need to select anything. It is automatically selected. So don't change anything. If you change it, then you will get charged. Okay, other options are not available for free. Okay, so only this option is available for free. Okay, please select this one. Okay, here you can see the configuration of the remote desktop you are going to create. Okay, it has 1 GB memory. Okay, so then click this next button. Okay, so here you can see a next configure instance details, right? Click this one. Full form of EBS. EBS means elastic. So EBS, I could not remember. I will tell you. I will tell you later. So E means elastic. What is BS? I could not recollect it now. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, but it is only specific to AWS. Okay. Yeah. So for now, you just follow the steps. Okay. So actually, it is changed. The option is changed. Okay. So so don't change anything. The default one. Okay. Just click next button. Next colon configure instance detail. Okay. Don't click review and launch here. Okay. Click configure instance details. Okay, I clicked it now. Okay, and you will see lot of options there. Don't change any options. Okay, so just you can see. Okay, what is the network? Okay, so here you can see one thing, right? Number of instances. Okay, first one is number of instances. How many systems you want? Okay, suppose you want a 5 system at once to be created, then you can mention 5. Okay, and if you want only one, so actually only one is free, so you cannot give more than one. If you mention more than one, then you will get charged. Okay, so only for chargeable users you can go for multiple systems. Okay, multiple instances at once. Okay, so always you have to use one as a number of instances. Okay, then so don't change anything else. Here you need to select this network. Okay, so network is by default network. Okay, so we can also create a network. Okay, so that we will see later. that network is called VPC, virtual private computer. Okay, so VPC means virtual private computer. Okay, so we can create our own network. So in that network, we can put all our EC2 instance. Okay, VPC is a bigger one. Inside that, we can have a EC2 instance. Okay, by default, there will be an VPC. So don't change it for now. Okay, later if we create a new VPC, then we can select that one. Okay, at present you use default VPC. Okay, and subnet. Okay, so under network we have a concept called subnet. Okay, that means we can group the systems. For example, you have 100 EC2 instances. Okay, you can group the 100 instances into multiple things. That means some 25 systems into one group, one subnetwork. Subnet means subnetwork. So under one network, you can have multiple subnetworks. Okay, so you can put your EC2 instances in any one of the subnet. Okay, but by default there will be a subnet available. Okay, don't change anything. Okay, so before that I forgot to tell you. Okay, see in the right side you will see support, right? Before that there is a drop down. Okay, click here. You can see the Amazon services available. That means Amazon physical environment. Wherever the physical environment is there, okay, that will be listed here. Okay, you have to choose any one of this. Okay, suppose you want your EC2 instances to be created in Mumbai, you can select here. Okay, so if you want your instances to be running in North Virginia of US, then you can select it. Okay, if you want it in South Africa, Cape Town, you can select it. Okay, so by default, the nearest one will be selected, I hope. Okay, so if you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, so whichever place you are choosing, there only your instances will be running. Okay, so that means in Mumbai, in India, Mumbai, it is having a physical AWS environment. So there only your application will be running, whatever EC2 instance or storage or database or your network, everything will be there here physically, but for us it is virtual. Okay, so I selected Mumbai. Okay, so here the subnet actually it has A, B, C. Okay, actually in Mumbai itself they have 3 different places. In 3 different places they have this AWS offices. That means physical environment. Okay, so you can select any one of this. Okay, so by default I select the first one, 1A, AP South 1A. Okay, you can select it. Okay, so but there is no difference in selecting other subnet also. Okay, we can create our own subnet, but for now please go with the available one. Okay, so I'm selecting the first one. Okay, and all other things you don't need to change anything else. Okay, so this domain join directory IAM role, we can create a IAM role. Okay, that means user roles. You can create a multiple users. For example, administrator one user. Okay, and the employee is one user. Normal users. Okay, somebody can have only read only access. Somebody can have read and write access, like that. Okay, so that we will see later. For now, you don't change any default options. Okay, just go with the default options. Okay, so finally you come down to the step 3. Okay, you will be having in the last you can see network interfaces. Okay, and Yeah, so you don't need to change anything here. Okay, and in advanced detail also don't change anything. Okay, just keep as it is. Okay, I didn't change anything in this page in step 3. Okay, don't change anything in the step 3 for now. Okay, so later when we create a new VPC, new subnet, we can change it. Okay, for now go with the default option and click again the next button, add storage. Okay, so this button, add storage. Okay, so once click the add storage, you can see a step 4, right? In step 4 we are going to add storage. That means what is the hard disk size of your remote desktop which you are going to create. Okay, that EC2 instance memory size, that means hard disk size. Okay, by default it allows only up to 30 GB. Okay, if you want to change it more than 30 GB, then you will get charged. Okay, but you can reduce it if you want. Okay, so no need to reduce anyway, it provides up to 30 GB, so keep it as it is. Okay, don't change anything. Okay, just use as it is. Okay, don't change any options. Okay, then again click this add tags button. Okay, I hope you can follow the 4th step. Okay, nothing to be changed in 3rd and 4th step. Okay, just go as it is. Okay, then click add tags button. Okay, here you need to here you can, so this add tags means you can name your system. Okay, so what is the name you are going to give for your EC2 instance? Okay, for that first you need to type it like this, name. Okay, so here once you click add tag, you will see a editable boxes, right? Here the first box you type it like this, name. Okay, in the next box value you give your own name for your system. My AWS system. Or I can give it like this, server 1. Okay, so I create like this, server 1. Okay, so this is just the name of the computer you are going to give. Okay, that's all. Okay, then you can click this next button again, configure security group. Okay, yeah, so I click to configure security group here. So you don't need to change any option in the top. Okay, so create a new security group. Okay, and in the table below, right, you can see this type, protocol, port range and all, right? So by default a protocol called RDP, TCP protocol, the type is RDP. RDP means remote desktop protocol. Okay, RDP. RDP means, see, if you create EC2 instance, you need to be able to access it, right? If it is a Windows machine, you need RDP. Okay, otherwise you cannot access it from a remote place. Okay, from your machine, you need to access the EC2 instance, right? For that only RDP is there. By default, it is selected. Don't change it. Okay, and you need to add some other protocols, like suppose if your system need to be internet enabled, then you need to select HTTP. Okay, So you need to select HTTP, okay, and select anywhere. Okay, so HTTP is for your EC2 instance to be internet capable. Okay, if you don't select HTTP, then your EC2 instance will not have any internet access. Okay. Yeah. So for now, select HTTP and add one more thing like all ICMP IPv4. Okay. So this is also needed because you need to access through a public IP, right? And you need to find a private IP also. So select this also. Okay, all ICMP IPv4. Okay, select this and select anywhere in the source column. Okay, select anywhere in the source column. That's all. Okay, so you need to have 3 types. Configure security group. You need to have 3. Out of 3, first one is already selected, by default selected. Okay, HTTP and all ICMP IPv4 you need to select it. Okay, and other than RDP, you need to change it to anywhere in the source column for other things. Okay, other types. Okay, that's all. Okay. Okay, so that's all. We are into the final step. So you click review and launch. Okay, so there is no more steps. Just click review and launch. Yeah. So now it is showing whatever options we chosen, right? Whatever option we chose, it is showing. So finally, you click the launch button. Okay. So yeah. So when you click launch button, you will see a pop-up like this. Select an existing key pair or create a new key pair. Okay. So since you are going to create it for the first time, you go for the create new key pair. Okay. So select in the first drop down, you need to select create new key pair. Okay. Choose an existing key pair also there. Don't choose it for now. When you are creating for the first time, you need to select create a new key pair. Okay. So suppose you are creating a second time, then you can go for a choose an existing key pair. Okay. So first you select create a new key pair. Okay. And you give some name, your name. Okay. For example, I can give it my name, Satish key pair. Okay. And you click this download key pair button. Okay, so that means this key pair, there is a file. Okay, key pair is a file. You have to download it in your system. Okay, using this file only you can access that EC2 instance. Okay, so you should not delete this file once you download it. Okay, so I'm going to click download key pair. So it will ask for the save, whether you want to save or not. So just click OK to save it. Okay. Once click to save, you can see it in the downloads folder, right? Satish keypair.pem file. Okay, .pem file it will create. Okay. So keep it safe, very safe. Okay. Don't delete it at any cost. Okay, because using this only you can connect with the EC2 instance. Okay. Yeah. So I download it now. Okay. Then you click launch instances button. Okay. I hope you can follow now. So we are into the last step. Okay, click launch instances. Yeah, our instances are now launching. It will take some 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, we have to wait for that. Okay, so in order to view the instance we created, click this view instance button. Okay, I'm going to click it now. Yeah, so once you click view instances button, you can see a instances running page. Okay, see the server one I created, right? That is available now. That means it is getting launched. It's not yet available because status check you need to see. Okay, it has to pass all the status check. Okay, it is only a initializing stage. Okay, so you need to wait for some time. Okay, instance state is running, but final status is still waiting. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, so this is the public IP of your EC2 instance. Okay, so using this IP only, we can connect with the EC2 instance. Okay, yeah, so key name we selected is already populated, right? Satish Keeper. Okay, with this only we can connect it. Okay, launch time also mentioned. Okay, now we will see. You can refresh it. Okay, there is a button here. So just click it so that you can see the latest status. So we will wait for 2 more minutes. Okay, it will take 2 to 3 minutes. We'll wait. So until it is getting initialized, I will tell you some other things. Okay, so you can see a link here, right? Instance ID. Okay, so you can see this link here. Once you click this link, okay, you can see the details of that EC2 instance. Okay, instance ID, public IP address of that system. Okay, and instance type t2.micro. Okay, and so private IP also. So for every system in the internet, there will be 2 type of IPs. One is public IP, another is private IP. Private IP, no one knows other than the administrator, other than the owner. Okay, no one knows. Okay, public IP, everyone knows, because using this public IP only, we can connect with another system. Okay, private IP known for only the network administrator. Okay, so within the network, it will come using private only. Public IP will not be used for internal communication. Okay. Yeah. So in the down, you can see some more details. Network security, networking, storage, status checks. Yeah, I think it is passed now. Okay, let me go back now. Let me go to the instances running. Okay, so you can click it here, or you can click it in the left side, instances. So I'm going to the previous one. See, now it is created. Status check. It should come like 2 by 2 checks passed. Okay, in the green color. So if you see the status, that means your system is ready now. Okay. So now it is ready to access. Everything is done. All security check, everything is done. Now you can go and access your system EC2 instance. Okay. So for this only I was waiting. Okay. Now we will try to connect with this system. Okay, for that, okay, I need a IP address, right? So you can click this one. Okay, there is a box kind of that, right? Box and arrow. If you click, sorry, not here. In the left side, you can see a two boxes, right? Two square box. Click that so that the IP address will be copied. Okay, so you need this public IP address. That is why you need to copy it and click this connect button. Okay, you have this connect button, right? Click this connect button to connect with your remote system that EC2 instance created. Okay, click connect button. Okay, so once you click connect button, you can see another page like this. Here you go to RDP client. Okay, RDP client. Okay, so here you can see the username for your EC2 instance. Okay, so for any system we need a username and password, right? So by default username is administrator. Okay, yeah. So before that, in order to connect with the EC2 instance we created, you need to go to your computer. That means your computer. In here in the down, you can search it like remote desktop connection, RDC. Okay, there is an application called, all Windows 10 machine will have this application by default. Okay, you don't need to install it. Okay, it is by default available for Windows 10 machines. Okay, click this app. Okay, remote desktop connection. Okay, click this one. Okay, here you need to okay, click this show options. Okay, and so I copied the IP address, right? I just pasted it. Okay, 65.1.65.38. Okay, this is my EC2 instance IP address and username is administrator, right? So I can copy also from here. Okay, and paste it here. That is better way. Okay, and connect. Click connect here. Okay, this is your system only. Okay, this application is your system application. Okay, click connect. Now it is asking for the password, right? So in order to get the password, so you can see option called get password. Okay, you don't know the password, right? For that, this AWS is providing an option to get the password. You click this one. Okay, and here, so once you click get password, you can see another page. Here you need to select your keeper file. .pem file you downloaded, right, in your local system. You select that file, browse. So there is a button, browse button here. Click that browse button. Okay, and select that PEM file which I downloaded for creating EC2 instance. Okay, so you don't need to create a new key pair for each and every EC2 instance. Okay, so this is only for the first time. For the next time, you can use the same key pair. Okay, for even a new EC2 instance. Okay, I'm selecting it now. Okay, once selected. Okay, here you can see some password like this. Okay, this is the length of the password actually. So this is a encrypted password. So you need a decrypt password. Okay, for that there is a button called decrypt password in the down. Okay, please note it down. Decrypt password. Okay, once you click this, okay, you can see the password, decrypted password in short length, right? So you can copy it now. Okay, password copied. Okay, if you click this box kind of icon, you can copy it here. Okay, now I copied. Okay, I'm going back to my RDC application and pasting the password. Okay, and click OK. Click OK. Okay. Now it is getting connected. So you just press yes button. Okay, don't select no. Press yes button. Okay, so this pop-up will be shown only for the first time you are connecting with the EC2. Okay, so click yes. Now it is getting connected. See now, administrator. See, you can see the IP right in the top. So this is my remote desktop. Now I created a machine inside AWS. So I'm going to access it now. Perfect. Everything is done perfectly. So you can see a Windows machine, right? Virtual Windows machine. Okay. You can see. You can see a desktop here, and all the applications you want will be there. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to do anything here, you can do. Suppose you want to install any application like Oracle or database or anything you want to install, you can install it here. Okay. So you can see the folders, right? So only C:, will be there. Okay. So you can see the folders inside that. That's all. Okay. So this is my AWS machine, AWS desktop. Okay. So that's all. Okay. Now, so I created the EC2 instance and I'm able to access it now. Okay. One more step we need to do is we need to destroy the desktop EC2 instance once we tested everything. Okay, don't use it for long. Okay, otherwise you will get charged. Okay, maybe you can use it for 1 or 2 days. That is not a problem. But if you continuously keeping that instances running, then you will get charged. Okay, so that is the purpose. I'm going to close this remote desktop. Okay, and now I am going to terminate the instances created. Okay, that means I will not get any charge. Okay, so suppose you want to have it for some more hours, you can have it, no problem. Even if you are keeping it for 1 or 2 days, that is not a problem. But if you keep it for an entire month, then you will get a charge. Okay, so now I am going to terminate my EC2 instance. For that, you select the system, okay, server 1, which is what I created, and go to the instance state. Okay. Yeah, so instance state you can see right here. You can see stop instance. So stop instance means your EC2, that remote desktop, will be stopped. That means will be shut down. Okay, but it will be still be available. Okay, so you can stop and start the instances. That is not a problem. If you stop, it will be stopped. Then you can start it. Okay, but if you okay, so stop and start is not like rebooting the system. Okay, reboot instance is what shutdowning the system or restarting the system. Okay. So finally, terminate instance. Once you click terminate instance, then your system will no more be available. Okay, you can never access it. Okay, so if you want the system, then you have to create a new system, new EC2 instance. No other option. Once you terminate. Okay, so this is what terminate instance. I'm going to click it now. Okay. So it will ask for confirmation, terminate instance. Again, select terminate. Okay, so now you can see right shutting down. Okay, so it will take some time, 2 to 3 minutes. Shutting down. So finally, the instance state should be showing like terminated. It will take some time. Okay, so you need to wait for that. So this AdSense, basically we don't need it now. Yeah, terminated. See, instance state is terminated. Now, if you are trying to connect with this system, it will not be available. Okay, you cannot connect. Okay, this IP address and all will not be available. You cannot connect with the remote system. Okay. Okay. So I hope you are all clear with the last class, right? I have taken the concept of EC2 instance, right? How to create EC2 instance. That is what we saw in the last class. Okay. So these are all the advantages of using Amazon EC2 instance. Okay. So it provides you lower computer cost, right? So as I told you, if you have everything installed in a office on-premises environment, then it will cost you much more, right? So in AWS, it is lower cost, okay, and it provides higher performance, okay, because everything is on high, right? And software costs also reduced, okay. So instant, so every time there is an update, you will get that update instantly. Okay. For example, you have antivirus and it is keep on updated, then you will get that update instantly. Okay. But if you have it in on premises, you have to get the antivirus and install it in all the machines manually. Okay. So improved document format compatibility. So you can, it supports all kind of documents, okay, and unlimited storage capacity. So you don't need to worry about storage and all, okay. So you may get whatever you want, okay, but you need to pay as you want. Okay, so as much as you want the facilities, you have to pay up to that. Okay, pay as you go. That is the concept in AWS. Okay, pay as you go. If you go further, you need to pay further. That's all. Okay, if you don't go further, you don't need to pay. That's all. Okay, increased data reliability, universal document access, so you can access it anywhere. Latest version availability, easier group collaboration, device independence. So these are all the advantages of using EC2 instance. Okay, so there are, for everything there will be a advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so if you look at the disadvantage, you need a constant internet connection. Without internet connection, you cannot access AWS. Okay, and does not work well with low speed connections. So if you connect with the mobile network, then it is not easy to access the AWS instance. Okay, and features might be limited because you need to pay for it, right? And sometimes it may be slow. Okay, and stored data may be lost. Okay, so sometimes it may happen. Okay, and it might not be secure, but usually Amazon is very secure. But so you have to choose the cloud environment accordingly. So you need to make sure that you have the data security when you choose the this cloud environment. Okay, yeah. So today we are going to see how to create two or more instances, and how to communicate with those computers. Okay, for example, we are going to create two EC2 instances like server 1 and server 2, and how those two servers can communicate each other. Okay, so that is what we are going to see today. In the last class, most people asked, can we create more than one EC2 instance simultaneously, right? At the same time. Today we are going to do that. Okay. So for that, I'm going to go for Amazon aws.amazon.com. Okay, sign into the console. Okay, so you need to sign in as a root user. Those who could not follow the steps to create EC2 instance in the last class, please follow now. Okay, and security check. C. Yeah, now password. Yeah, so now it is logged in now. So recently visited services will be listed by default. So you can click here, or you can go to services and click here. Okay, anyway, you can go to EC2 instance creation page. Okay, so in the left side also you can see the links, right? So if you want to create a new instance, you can click it here also, or you can go further down and click this launch instance button. Okay, so first step in creating EC2 instance is go to this EC2 page. Okay, so it will be there in the services drop down. Okay, click it here and it will show you this page. Here there is a button called launch instance. Okay, so I am going to click it now, and there is a drop down. Select it. Okay, now we are going to create two instances, one after another. Okay, we'll see. So I'm going to so you can also create Linux environment. Okay, so in the coming class we will see how to create a Linux based desktop in AWS. But for now we will see how to create more than one Windows based server or desktop in AWS. Okay, so for this I'm going to choose a free tier eligible Windows machine. Okay, so I am going to choose it now. Select. Okay, so I am in the step 2 now. Okay, first step you need to click the launch instance button, then you need to choose the image you want, Amazon image you want. That means type of server you want. Okay, so here you need to choose some instance. By default it is selected. You don't need to change anything here, because for a free users only you are eligible to go with the default option. Okay, then you click this configure instance details button. Okay, no need to change anything, just click that next button. Okay, so now you are in the step 3, right? Configure instance detail. Okay, so here also you don't need to change anything. Okay, subnet you need to select. Okay, so select the subnet. So this is subnet 1A, 1B, 1C are there. Okay, I'm going to select the first one. If you want, you can select second or third also. No problem. Okay, so select it now. Okay, and so there is no other change. Only you need to select the subnet. No other change. Okay, then click add storage. So you are in the 4th step now. Here also there is no change required. Don't change anything. By default you have to go with the default option. Okay, and select next button again. Add tags. Okay, here you need to add tag like naming the server. that our machine. Okay, so you need to type name in the key box. Okay, and you need to mention the server name. For example, I'm going to create like app server 1, application server 1. Okay, I'm going to create like this. Okay, so this will be the name of the server, because we are going to create multiple. So if you don't give anything here also, it will create the instance, no problem, but you will not be able to identify the server, because if you create multiple servers, all servers will not have any name. So then how can you identify which one is which server? So for that purpose, we need to give some name to the server. Okay, so give the name and click next button. Okay, so here by default the type RDP is selected, because for a Windows machine you need this remote desktop option to connect with the remote machine. Okay, AWS machine. But for Linux based machine you don't need RDP. Okay, for Linux based machine you need to select SSH. Okay, that is an option. Yeah, see, SSH is there, right? This is for Linux. Okay, RDP is for Windows. Okay, by default RDP will be selected for Windows. SSH will be selected for Linux. Okay, so you need to add some more protocols, because it needs to support the communication, right? So custom all ICMP IPv4 you need to select. Okay, and in the source column you need to select anywhere. Okay, so in the sixth step you need to do some steps, some work here. Okay, so click add rule and select all ICMP IPv4. Okay, so and in the source column you need to select anywhere. Then again click add rule. Okay, and select HTTP, because for Windows machine if you need an internet connection you need a HTTP type, HTTP protocol, otherwise you will not get internet connection in that RDP machine. Okay, so select HTTP and select anywhere. Okay, that's all. Okay, now you need to click review and launch. That's all. We are in the final step. Okay, so once I click this review and launch, it will give you whatever the option you selected. Finally you need to click launch button. Okay, so here, so whatever options we selected is listed down here. Okay, suppose if you think this option is not selected by you or you wrongly selected, then you can go back to previous page and modify it. Okay, for now I'm going to click launch button, so it will get launched. Okay, yeah, so it is asking for the key pair, right? So as I told you in the last class, for creating the first time you need to select the create new option, create new key pair option. So since I have already created my servers, my key pair, I am going with the choose an existing key pair. Okay, and so it will be listed down. Okay, so I am going with this key pair. Okay, so I am going to select this one. Actually I have a 3 key pairs. Okay, I am going to select this one, psat key. Okay, and check this checkbox, I acknowledge box, and click launch instance button. Okay, that's all. Now it is getting launched. Okay, now we will go and see that instance. Okay, see now app server 1 is getting created and its instance status pending. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to create another server. Okay, so it will take some time, so we don't need to wait till that. Okay, we will create one more server now. Okay, so for that, I'm going to select the image again, same image we'll select. Okay, Microsoft Windows Server 2019 base. Okay, if you want this one, I will copy and paste it now. Okay, choose the same one when you are creating. Okay, we have selected one HTTP, but why there are two HTTP? Now you will be having HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, both are different. Okay, both are different. HTTP, you for now you select HTTP alone. Okay, yeah. So I'm selecting this again and going with the default option. Next button. Okay, here you can select some other subnet also. Okay, what is subnet? Some people asked. Don't worry about that. This subnet concept is a different concept. Okay, I will take it in the coming class, future class. Okay, don't worry about that at present. Okay, so okay. Anyway, I will give you some heads up about it. Okay, let me go to the paint. Okay, so subnet, you have network and subnet, right? So for any company, if you want to establish a company, you need to have a network, right? You'll be having multiple servers in your company, okay? So that all servers and all your employees' computers should be connected with the network, internal network. That is called internal network. So this network is also same like that. Okay, so you are going to create multiple machines in the Amazon cloud, right? Cloud platform. So you want to connect all those machines, right? You need to connect or not, right? Without all machines are connected, then you cannot perform the action you want, right? Your all machines should be connected. Then only you can communicate with all these machines. Okay, so that is the purpose. Network is there. Okay, so you can create your own network in Amazon. Okay, so by default it provides a network. Okay, you can choose that also, or else you can go with a new network that is called VPC, virtual private computing. That is called VPC. Okay, inside a network you can create a sub network that is called subnet. Subnet means sub network. Okay, so you can split a bigger network into small networks, and you can assign some of the computers to that subnets. Okay, for example, okay. Okay, so consider that this is the VPC. Okay, this is a bigger network. Okay, so this is your main network of your company. Consider that, or you are creating in the AWS. Okay, main network, that is called VPC, virtual private computer. Okay, in Amazon we call it as VPC. Okay, so this is a bigger one. Okay, so inside this mega network, that bigger network, you can split it into multiple subnets. Okay, for example, okay, so this space is a subnet. Okay, this is one subnet. Okay, subnet or subnetwork. So subnet is a short form of subnetwork. Okay, subnetwork 1. Okay. Subnetwork 2. Okay. So this is 3. This is 4. Okay. So you can split the entire network into multiple subnets. Okay. So I will explain you in the another picture. Okay. So consider this as a bigger network. Okay. Inside that you can create a smaller one. Okay. And I'm going to create a 2 subnets here. Okay. So this is network. Okay. And this is subnet 1 and subnet 2. Okay. Inside subnet only you will be having EC2 instance. Okay. So you can create a server 1 and server 2, server 3 inside subnet 1. Okay, and also in subnet 2 you can have a multiple EC2 instance. Okay, so these are all EC2s. EC2. Okay, machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, like that. EC2. Okay, so now you can understand, right? So this is a network. Okay, so by default AWS provides it one network. You can use that, or else you can create your own network that is called VPC. Okay, and inside network you can create a subnetwork. Okay, for example, in the subnetwork you can have all DB servers. Okay, so here this is DB server 1. Okay, this can be DB server 2, DB2. Okay, this is DB3. Okay, so in the subnet 2 you can have a web server 1, web server 2 here, web server 3 here, web server 4 here, like that. So based on the server type, you can assign it in the subnet. Okay, subnet 1 can have only DB servers. Subnet 2 can have only application server. And if you have another server, you can put it some other machines. Okay, so this is the concept of network and subnet. Okay, I hope you can understand now. See, you can create 2 instances using this option, but you cannot assign the name. Okay, so both servers will have the empty name, so you cannot understand it. That is the purpose I am creating separately now. Okay, yeah. So now I'm going to click add storage. Okay, sorry. subnet I need to select, right? So you can select any other also, no problem. Okay. Okay. Click add storage. Okay. And add tags. Okay. Name. App server 2. Okay. Configure security group. Okay. Add rule. Select all ICMP IPv4 anywhere in the source box. Okay. And also add HTTP. Okay. You will have HTTP and HTTPS. Both you will have. Okay. So here you can see HTTP, right? And one more place. Yeah. See HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP means without secured. Okay, HTTPS means secured HTTP. Okay, yeah. For now, I select HTTP. Okay, and select anywhere. Okay, review and launch. Okay, and launch. Select keypad. Same keypad I need to use. Okay, don't change the keypad. Okay. Launch instance. Okay, view instance. Now app server 2 is also created. Okay, so first server is running perfectly now. 2x2 checks passed. Okay, if you see that means that machine is ready now. Okay, so now we will go inside this app server 1. Okay, and so here you can see the IP address of that machine. Okay, so just copy that. Okay, copied, and go to your computer and select remote desktop application. Okay, here you need to paste that IP, connect. Okay, sorry, I need to go with the show options. Yeah, username is always by default it is administrator. Okay, and click connect now. Now it will be asking for password, right? So for password, as I told you, you need to click connect button. Okay, here connect button is there. Okay, and in the next page you select RDP client. Okay, here you can see username also there, right? So username is there. Okay, now you need a password, right? For that you click this get password button. Okay, now you need to browse, select the key pair. Okay, key pair you choose. Okay, P set E. That is what I chosen. Okay, now so you need to decrypt the password. Okay, so now you get the password, copy it. Okay, go to RDP application and paste the password and click OK. So select yes here. Now perfectly you are able to access this machine. This is server 1, app server 1. Okay, you are able to access now. Password method do again, please. Okay, I will do it for the second server. Don't worry, you can follow that. Okay, so now you are able to access app server 1. Okay, so now just you can minimize it. Okay, just minimize it and now go to the Amazon. Okay, go to the instance tab. Okay, so now in the meantime, app server 2 is also created perfectly. Now the 2 by 2 checks passed. Okay, now go to the second server link. Okay, so please watch it very carefully. I'm doing the same step now again. Okay, so now you click this IPv4 address, public IP address, okay, to connect with the machine. Okay, copy it, okay, and go to remote desktop application. Okay, click show options. Okay, now you paste the IP address. Okay, username will be administrator. If you want to see that, you can go to connect button. Click connect button. Okay, here you will see two options, session manager and RDP client. Okay, you go to RDP client section. Okay, RDP client section, click that, and in the down you can see public DNS. Okay, so this is the name of the server, domain naming service. Okay, that is called, suppose, so we have a google.com, right? Google.com is a DNS, domain naming service. Okay, that IP address, some name replacing that IP address, right? That is called DNS. Okay, so you can access the EC2 instance using this name also. Okay, but for now we are going with the IP address. Okay, username is always by default administrator. Copy that, go to RDP, okay, paste it, okay, and click connect. Okay, now you need a password, right? For password, in the down you can see password and get password option. Okay, so get password will be a link. Okay, it's kind of a link. Okay, click that get password option. Okay, now it will ask you to select the key pair you downloaded, right? While you are creating first EC2 instance. Okay, so you need to select that key pair. Okay, downloaded in your local machine. Okay, so click browse. Okay, everyone can follow, right? Everyone can follow, right? Till now this step. Okay, now I'm going to select the key pair file. Okay, psat key. This is what my key pair file. Okay, now you can see some password here. It's a private key. Okay, you cannot understand the password from it. Okay, for that you need to click this. There is a decrypt password button in the down. Okay, actually it is shadowing this. Okay, it is somewhat hiding the button. Okay, but you can see the button called decrypt password. Button name is decrypt password. Okay, so you need to click that button, decrypt password. Okay, now the password is populated here. Okay, it's also some complex combination. Okay, so you can either copy it by selecting it. Okay, I can do Control C, or I can just click this box, right? Box kind of icon you can see. If you click that, the password will be copied automatically. So you can select it and copy it, or you can click that box icon. Okay, so now the password is copied. Okay, everyone can follow, right? So now the password, password is copied, and I am going to the remote desktop. Okay, so now I need to paste the password. Okay, now clicking OK, it is going to connect. Yeah, so now the second server also is getting connected. Second machine, this is second machine. So at a time I have 2 machines in AWS now. So these are all free for you. Okay, you can create it more than one EC2 instance freely. Okay, so now you can see the desktop, right? Yeah. Now we need to check whether these 2 machines, 2 EC2 instances are able to connect one with other. Okay, each other, whether it is able to connect. For that, normally in the network, we will use a command called ping. Okay, there is a command called ping. In the command prompt, if you type that ping and IP address of another machine, then it will send some data to that machine, and it will check whether it is returning something or not, whether it is acknowledging or not. Okay, so that you can be sure that both the machines are connected. Okay, so for now, for that I am going to go to this desktop, that remote desktop. Okay, in the left down corner you will see start button. Click that. Okay. Okay, here you can select command prompt, right? Or run option. Run or command prompt. Okay, command prompt. Select command prompt. Okay, so I'm into the second server now. Okay, in the second server, first I need to find the private IP. Okay, so within Amazon servers, it should communicate with the private IP only, not public IP. Okay, public IP is only for outside world. Okay, inside network, machines will be connected with a private IP, and it will communicate with a private IP only, not public IP, because private IP is very secure. Okay, to find the private IP, I need to type it like this: ipconfig. Okay, type the command ipconfig. Okay, you can understand, right? So command name is ipconfig without any space. Okay, now you can see the private IP of this second server. Okay, this is what the private IP: 172.31.36.157. This is the private IP of second machine. Okay, if you see the top right, this is public IP of the web server 2. Sorry, art server 2. Okay, so this is private IP. I am going to copy it now. Okay, for that, select this, select it, and go to the leftmost corner, select edit, and select copy. Okay, see the topmost, you can see one icon, right? Click here and you will see edit option. Inside edit option, you can click copy. Now it is copied. Okay, minimize it. In your notepad, you note it down. Web server 1. Sorry, app server 1 private IP is this one. Copied. Sorry, This is app server 2, right? Okay. So now we want for app server 1 also. For app server 1 also we need a private IP. For that I'm going to go to app server 1 now. Okay. Now I am in the app server 1. Okay. Here also you need to go to command prompt. Click start button and type command. See, you can see command prompt here. Select it. It will open now. Now here also you need to type the command called ipconfig. Okay. So type the command ipconfig and it will give you the private IP address of the first machine now, right? So you copy this, edit, copy. Okay. Now minimize it. So now private IP of app server 1 is this one, 172.31.44.25. Okay. So now we need to check whether both the machines are connected in the network or not. Okay. For that I'm going to, so now I am in the app server 1. Okay. This is application server 1. Okay. So now I'm going to type the command like ping and then private IP of the second app server, second machine. Ping private IP of the second machine. So here if you right click, it will paste actually. So in the command prompt, you don't need to do control V and all. Okay, just right click and it will paste it. Just right click. Okay, ping another machine's IP address, private IP address. Now I'm entering pinging request timed out. See, it is not connected. Request timed out means it is not connected. Now we have two machines, but that is not connected. Okay, so let's check it from the second machine also. Okay, for that I need a first machine IP address, right? Copy the first machine IP address, go to second server and type ping and enter the first machine IP address and enter. Here also it is checking request timed out. So now both the machines are not connected. Why it is not connected? We need to check. Okay. For that, actually, every machine you are creating in EC2 instance, there will be a firewall inside that. Okay. So firewall is a security thing. Okay. So it will block all the connection by default. So any other machine is trying to connect with this machine, it will block. Okay. So you need to turn down the firewall first. Then only you can connect with another machine. For that, go to this start button. Okay. And select Windows Security. Here you can see an option called Windows Security. Select that. Okay. Here you can see firewall and network protection option, right? Click that also. Okay. Yeah. So here you can see the private network, right? Private network link. Click it because firewall is on. Okay. Firewall is on. private network firewall is on. Okay, select it and you need to unselect it, off it. Okay, Windows Defender Firewall. Okay, off it. You need to off it, then only you can connect with another machine. Now private firewall is off. Your device may be vulnerable, but don't worry about that because you are connecting with the internal network only. Don't worry because this private IP address no one knows other than you. Okay, unless you share it to others, nobody knows it. Okay, so you need to switch off the firewall now. Okay, and close it. Okay, and so same thing you need to do in the another machine also. Okay, go to start button or you can go server manager. Okay. No, not this one. Okay. Okay, select same Windows security. Okay, and you can see firewall and network protection. Okay, click firewall. So I'm doing the same thing. Firewall is off here. 204.3. Okay, and should be doing in the first machine. I have done it in the second machine already. Okay, now need to do it in the first machine. Windows security. Select that. Okay, firewall and network protection. Private network. Click that. So switch off it. That's all. Okay. Now in the first machine also firewall is switched off. Okay. So both the machines now it can connect each other. Okay. So in the first machine I am going to do the same command again now. If from first machine I am trying to send some message to second machine. Ping. Oh, again request timed out. Okay, let's check. Go to run. Okay, I think I forgot one more step. Yeah, you need to type this one firewall.cpl. Okay, in the run option, click, type it. Yeah, here turn Windows Defender Firewall. Private network. So it is already turned off. Why it is not connecting? Okay, let's check it in the second machine. it is not connecting? So maybe due to some network issues, it may not connect. Okay, don't worry about that. You can try this and tell me later. Okay, it should be able to connect now. I don't know what is the reason. Okay, let me verify again. Okay, or else I will close this command prompt no, and try again. Okay, ping. So before that, let me type ipconfig. Okay, this machine's private IP ending with 157. So I need the first machine IP address, private IP. Okay, type ping and select again. So this may be due to some network issues. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, these are all the steps. Okay, you need to follow. Yeah. So this is what you need to check. Okay. So I don't know what is the reason because it might be due to some network. My network is not good. That is why it is not connecting. I don't know. Okay. So, but these are all the steps you need to do. Okay. To switch off all the firewalls. Okay. Let me try now also. Okay. Let me try. But switching off public firewall is not good actually. I don't know. Okay. Windows security. Firewall and protection, domain network. I think public network is, you don't need to turn off. Okay, public network you don't need to turn off. Let's check with this because you are connecting with the private network only, right? Let's do it in the okay. So domain firewall is off, private network firewall is off, public network. Okay, let's ping it now. Now also request timed out. So that means public network also, but that is not good anyway. Okay, let's check now. Yeah, so now I'm getting reply. So yeah, so that means we need to switch off all firewall, even public network. Okay, yeah, you are correct. So anything else? That's all today.